Hi there, welcome to this webinar presentation from New Perspective. My name is Sara Flay and I'm the main coach of New Perspective. Today I'm going to be looking at 25 ways to stop business insanity. So, are you suffering from business insanity? I'm guessing that because you've selected this webinar, you may be suspecting that you are. So I have a checklist that will help you to find out if you are suffering from business insanity. And it's a very simple question. Are you doing the same things over and over again and not getting the results that you want? You know, Albert Einstein said that insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. If you're doing the same things in your business, if you're doing business the same way every single day and it just isn't working for you, it's because you have business insanity. And today I'm going to give you 25 ways to stop business insanity and to make a better business for you. So, before I fill you with loads of information and give you lots of my top tips, I think it's probably the best thing to do is for me to tell you a little bit about me, who I am. Well, hi, my name is Sara Flay and I set up New Perspective in 2013. Before that, my previous sort of occupation as an entrepreneur, I had a number of businesses and most of them I started between 2011 and 2013. In fact, I started 10 companies in that time, 10 companies within 2 years. It doesn't sound as if that is something that is possible and that is something that can be achieved, but I did it. But it's very, very simple and it's not as exciting and dramatic as that sounds. Actually, they were 10 businesses that came out of one business, and I just marketed different products to different people and so decided to make my businesses more manageable. I was in the gift industry, and when I first started the business, we sold all different types of gifts to all different types of people, but I felt that it wasn't working as well as it could. So what I did was I split the business up. So I had the Unusual Wedding Company, which was wedding favours and candy buffets for brides and for grooms, and for special occasions within the wedding industry. So basically those gifts were marketed to people who were looking to get married, who had got engaged, that type of thing. So they needed different messages to the ones that had perhaps the promotional confectionery for businesses. Business people don't listen to the same messages. So I decided to not be insane in my business and split up my businesses. So we soon had Out of the Box Corporate Gifts, the Unusual Wedding Company, Yummy Scripture Company, My Name, My Bar, and before we know it, I had 10 businesses. But in the summer of 2013, I decided to start selling some of those businesses off because New Perspective, my coaching business, had begun to really see great results. I was seeing six-figure incomes start generating for my clients because they were working with me and I was giving them ideas and they were implementing and they were seeing the results they really wanted. So I really got a kick out of watching the progress of my clients and decided that actually the gift industry wasn't something that I was going to make a full-time, long-term career in. And that actually I loved being a coach. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to really give up the gift industry and concentrate on coaching full time. And now I am coaching, I'm speaking in sort of public and private sector, still carrying on with a little bit of entrepreneurialism because I get to be an entrepreneur by helping other people's businesses, giving them the ideas, giving them the solutions. You know, the unique thing about me is that I simplify business for the people that I work with. You know, I quickly understand your problems. I can see opportunities that maybe because you're inside of your business you don't see. And I make business work for people. You know, being self-employed means you're in control of your business. But, you know, 9 times out of 10, business owners are controlled by their business. And they spend all their days working and slogging themselves at the grindstone and not seeing the results that they want and ending up with business insanity. In 2012, I was recognised as one of Wales's top 25 rising entrepreneurial stars, and that was an amazing achievement for me. I don't actually like to go after awards and I don't pursue awards, but actually, that recognition is something that even today continues to make me want to be better than I am, better than I was a month ago, better than I was 3 months ago, better than I was a year ago. Always striving to learn, always striving to understand business, because I want to continue to live up to that reputation of being a rising entrepreneur, and I want to be the best that I can be. So all of that is about my business success and about the wonderful things that have happened and what I've done in business. But at the age of 23, I was told that I'd never work again because I have a muscular and neurological condition called Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. And when I was given that diagnosis, I literally had no options. Nothing at all. I was going to become a government statistic. I was going to become a disability claimant, and that was it. That was my lot in life at 23 years of age. But I soon realised that there was more to life than being a government statistic, and that there was a way for me to be an active part in society, to be somebody who could contribute in one way or another. So I went back to university, got my degree in business, and realized that actually self-employment was a great way for me to be able to work, but also to be able to manage the condition that I had. And both my children also have this muscle disease, as it's genetic and it's hereditary. So they both have it. And so in order to be able to juggle all of the joys of hospital appointments, family life, myself managing the pain and all of the problems that I had, I could do all of that by having my own business, and I could set the parameters within my business of when I worked, how I worked. And that's the one thing about being self-employed. As I've already said, you should be in control of your business, not your business in control of you. And today I'm going to give you 25 ways to stop feeling like you have business insanity, like you are doing the same things and not getting the results. So let's head straight into tip number 1. So, number 1, the way to stop business insanity is to make sure that you enjoy what you do. As I've said, you are self-employed, which means you are the one who is in control. Nobody is in control of you. You choose when you work. You choose how you work. You choose what you do when you work. And so ultimately, if you don't enjoy what you do, you may as well go back into employment and just join the rat race again, and not be in a position where you can have the life that you really want, because you're ultimately in control. So enjoy what you do. Have the tasks and have the purpose and have the business that you really want. So you need to ask yourself, what is it that you love doing? What is it that you could do all day long, even if somebody didn't pay you? And I mean, obviously that wouldn't work, because you need to make money to have a living, to be able to live, to have the life that you want. But what I'm asking you is, if I took away the financial payment out of what you do, what would you still want to do? So for me, I love to give presentations and talk to people about my entrepreneurial journey, about my barriers, about my story, about the things that could have got in my way and stopped me from achieving. I like to talk about enterprise and business to school and college students, and I do that without even getting paid. Most of those opportunities are not paid opportunities, but I love doing it because I love telling people that there is a better way. There is a way that is against all the odds that people can overcome. There are other choices. I love to talk to school kids about the fact that, they don't necessarily have to be academic, that there are other routes to being successful. Academia is not the be all and end all. And I mean, I'm currently studying, at the time of recording this, in 2013, I'm currently studying my postgraduate diploma. So I appreciate academia, I appreciate studying, and my children are being brought up to be the best they can be in their studies. But both of them want to be entrepreneurs. They both want to have their own businesses, but that's fine too. You know, you have options, but what you need to do is first identify what it is that you do. So, tip number 2. If you want to stop feeling like you are going insane in your business, you need to organize your workspace. Now, I am currently recording this sitting at my kitchen table because today I'm working from home. Now, I have an office. My office is very actually clean and tidy. I share an office with someone else, and they're even more, they're the real tidy, clean person. They're the one who has everything in its place, everything labeled, and they used to actually work for me, and they were a real joy to have in my business because they did everything to the best of their ability. Now, I'm a creative, so I can tend to be, if you looked at my workspace right now, I have a nice pile in the corner of my kitchen table of things such as the books that I write all of my research in for my university work, a magazine, some paperwork, letters that came this morning, my iPad, my phone. But right in front of me where I'm working right now, I have a nice big A3 sheet of paper that I write all my notes all over, and I'm the kind of person who writes bits and pieces everywhere. So I have a clear area where I am working. I have all the tools I need around me. I have the technology. I have a cup of coffee. I have my pen and my paper, and I'm nice and warm by the radiator because it is November at the time of recording this, and we're just hitting the cold spell a couple of weeks late. But organizing your workspace is so important because if you sit down at your workspace and you can't find a pen, you can't find, an adapter to plug in so you have electricity, you can't find the notes that you took from the last time you sat down and worked, you're never going to be productive. You're always going to be chasing your tail. And that is one way that you can feel like you're never making progress, and why you're feeling insane in your business is because if you have a clear area to work, then you can clear your mind, you can be focused, you can be productive. That's extremely, extremely important if you want to succeed in your business. So make sure that when you are working and when you finish your work, that you place things in an easy to find manner, and that's however you find it. Now, here in the UK, we have a soap opera, a type of soap opera called Holby City, and there's a surgeon on there called Elliot Hope. And Elliot is complete opposite of the other heart surgeon. Now, his desk is completely cluttered, and yet he knows where everything is. So he thinks. But when he actually goes into his office and is trying to find important documents and memos about meetings and research and things, he never can find what he wants. So don't kid yourself that you know where everything is. If I said to you right now, where's last month's bookkeeping? Where's last month's accounts? Do you know where they are? Do they have their own specific space? Do they have somewhere where you can just put your hand on them within a minute's notice so that you can be more productive in your business? So clear your desk so that you can have a clear mind and be as productive as you can be. Okay, so next. One of the ways that you can feel insanity creeping up on you in your business is if you do everything. Now, if you are the micro business owner, which I hate the term, but it's what the UK government define as anybody who is less than 10 employees and turning over less than a couple of £1,000,000, which is madness, but hey, we'll go with it. So if you're a micro business owner and you're a solopreneur, you're a sole trader, you're somebody who is just you, yourself, and I in the business, nobody else is helping, nobody else is doing anything, then you are likely to be the one who is doing absolutely every task. From invoicing to delivering whatever it is that you do, product or service, making the product, creating the service, advertising, marketing, social media updates. You are the one who is doing absolutely everything. And pretty much most of you listening to this are also the ones who create your websites and sort of update them and do all the content for them as well. So if you want to stop feeling insane in your business, like the insanity is taking over in the asylum, then you need to start considering outsourcing some of the labor intensive work. Now, you're probably screaming at me right now and saying, I can't outsource, I can't afford it. Outsourcing doesn't have to be expensive, number one. That's the first myth that needs busting. Outsourcing, if you have a skill and somebody else has a skill and you're both small business owners who are doing everything, why not exchange skills? So if you need a website that needs building and somebody else needs marketing, if you're a marketeer, if you're somebody who does marketing or social media, and then that person is a website person, why not exchange skills? You agree a certain price. So you would say, okay, well, if I build you a 5-page website, it's going to cost X, Y, and Z. And you can then say, okay, well, for that I can do, and then you give them a proposal of the level of work you'd be willing to do for the same price. You see, business can move forward without spending a single penny if you find the right people to work with. Okay? Now, there is also another myth about outsourcing. And that is, well, if I outsource, people can't do it as well as I would do it. That is ridiculous. And I'm being completely frank and blunt and honest with you now. Do you know what? There is a whole shed load of people out there who do things way better than you. You see, I'm a business coach, so I simplify business. I understand people's problems. I see opportunities for people, and I make business work for them rather than them working for their business. That's what I do. I am rubbish at building websites. I am awful at sales in terms of actually standing there and selling in the old school way of doing it, because I don't like being pushy. I don't like shoving people into a sale. So I've learned that selling isn't the old school way of doing things. Selling is making money from something that other people benefit from. And when you look at it that way, you can change your whole mentality. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about outsourcing. There are people out there who can sell better than me. There are people out there who can schedule social media better than me. There are people who can market better than me. There are people who can do the financial side of the business so much better than me. I have part of my degree in bookkeeping accountancy. So I've done up to a certain level in accountancy. I can do profit and loss, balance sheets, all the big jargony terms within business. But you know what? For £30 a month, I can outsource all of that and get somebody to do it for me who will literally keep on top of all the receipts, all the invoices, and make it make sense. And then submit it to our taxation system here in the UK, HMRC, and actually make sense of everything. And then I end up with just a bill. And if they're really good at what they do, a lot of the time, then I don't have a big bill, which is great. But they're experts in their field. Embrace this whole idea that experts out there can help you build a better business and stop you going insane. Okay? Outsourcing, just think of it in this term. Okay, what is it that you currently find really, really difficult in your business or very, very time consuming? Now, for me, it would be updating my website. I find that if I have a whole new idea of what to do with my website and then I start rejigging my website and playing about with it, problem I have is that can take me all day. Whereas I could outsource it to my web person and it could take them 2 hours. Now, I could be all day coaching other people, earning money, or I could be writing my website. You see, when you're doing the stuff that isn't your strength, you're wasting hours in your day. So think of it in that terms, and you might start to appreciate how outsourcing works. You know, outsourcing is a great way of growing your business without taking on employees. And I've had lots of employees, and I know that they can be even harder work than running a business. So seriously think about considering outsourcing to stop the business insanity. Now then, this is one of my favorite tips. This is one that is going to be of huge benefit to you, and if you embrace it, will be really productive for you and your business. So within your business, you do something. You either make stuff or you offer a service or of some sort. So I'm a business coach. So I learn business, I do business, I experience business. And the one thing that's really important, whatever it is you do, is to continue your self-development. Now, as I already said at the beginning of this presentation, I am currently studying my postgraduate diploma, and that is me wanting to improve my ability. Now, that's quite extreme. Okay, taking a university, sort of course is quite a big thing, and it was because I had been given an amazing opportunity on a fully funded place, a scholarship of sorts, that it was just insane to turn it down. And I was in a position where I'd sold some of the businesses, and so it meant that I had time on my hands that meant I could commit to going back to university. Now, when I am out and about on the road, getting to appointments, going to networking, traveling to events, taking the kids somewhere, I love to be able to make the most of my time when I travel, because that is when I can listen to podcasts and CDs and downloads on the area of expertise that I function in. So for me, self-development, perhaps it could be about improving the way that I communicate via social media. It could be about better ways to use opt-ins, better ways to market yourself, better ways to sell without actually using old school sales techniques. Lots of things that can benefit me personally, but also can benefit my clients. And I try and spend as much time as I can personally developing. So the best times to do that is, when you're sitting in your car and you're traveling and you've got perhaps a 2 hour journey or a half an hour journey, or it doesn't matter what it is, the fact that you can sit there and listen, because you can't really do much else other than to sing along to Bon Jovi on the radio. You really can't do a huge amount. And so when you're traveling, you can listen and develop via all of those things that I've mentioned, the podcasts and the downloads and the CDs. It's a really, really great way to develop yourself without it eating into your work time. So when you're sitting down doing your work, you're working, and then when you've got the bits and pieces time where you're traveling or you're sitting waiting for an appointment, you can actually improve yourself. So that is one of the biggest tips for me, is make the most of idle time, of time where you can't do much else, to improve you. And you'll be surprised how much you can benefit others by doing that. Okay, so making activities results-based. Now, insanity can set in extremely quickly when the activities that you have in your business, they're not focused on the results that you need. So what you need to do is look at the activities that you do every single day and ask yourself, what are going to be the results of those activities? So there needs to be purpose behind what you do. Because if you are doing the same thing over and over again and not getting results, then insanity quickly sets in business. And before you know it, you get disheartened, you lose the will to go on in business, and you then give up, and 9 times out of 10 you either end up unemployed, you end up earning next to nothing, or you consider self-employment. You consider employment. We've already considered the self-employment, we're all in it. It's about the employment. That there's a reason why you're not employed. And whatever that reason is normally a reason why you wouldn't go back to being employed. So think about that in your activities. Make your activities results-based, when you purposely focus on what am I doing and what are going to be the expected results? What do I want to achieve from doing this? You have far more ability to concentrate, to get things done, and to do the things that are going to bring you the results that you want. There's no point just chucking stuff out there. It's like just gathering a load of information and just chucking it back out there, what's the point? What is the purpose of what you're doing? Really, really concentrate on it. You know, results are what you're looking for. Because unless you have results, what are we doing? So, if you are going to update social media 10 times tomorrow, what would you like the result to be? Would you like to establish yourself more as an expert? Would you like to gain more followers, more likes, more interest in what you do? Would you like people to sign up to something free that you have? Would you like people to come along to an event that you're doing? Those activities that you do every single day, what is the result? So, if you're sitting down and you're writing out 10 invoices for clients, what are the results? Well, the results are you're going to get paid. So those activities are important. If you're writing a program for something such as like I do, so if you're in a service-based business and you're producing content, what do you want that content to achieve? Well, my objective today is to be able to give you 25 ways to stop yourself from feeling like you're going insane in your business. That's what I want to do. So I've sat down and I've listed 25 ways that you can improve the way that you feel by doing certain things. I had a starting point, and as a result of talking right now, I'm getting results because I'm actually putting into action. And we're going to talk a little bit about action in a minute, but we're putting into action what we want to achieve. So make sure your activities are results focused, results based. Right. This is something that as a coach is at the forefront of everything I do. But in business, it's so important for you. You need to make yourself accountable. Okay? When you tell somebody about what you want to achieve, it makes it more real. Now, if you want to gain 6-figure income by this time next year, and you say to somebody, right, I've set myself a goal and I'm going to achieve a 6-figure income by this time next year, and every time we meet up, I want you to ask me how it's going. And you arrange to meet up with them on a monthly basis for a coffee. You know that every single month, Sarah or Jack or Jill or whoever is going to be asking you how you're going in your goal to create a 6-figure income. It's amazing how accountability, just like deadline, will make you do what you need to do in your business. You see, if you have some airy-fairy idea that you want to, oh, yeah, this time next year I want to have 10 clients. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay. And nobody knows about it and you haven't told anybody, then you could then halfway through the year go, well, this isn't really going well, so I'm just going to aim for 5 clients now. And you see, the problem you have then is that you're constantly moving your goalposts. You're constantly moving your goals, your target. And if you keep doing that, you'll never achieve anything and you will become insane. There is no two ways about this. If you set goals, make them so that you can be accountable. Okay? Talk to somebody that you trust. Don't talk to somebody who is going to tear that goal apart and go, oh my gosh, really? Do you really think you can achieve that? Is that something really that you want to do? You know, and question everything you do. You want somebody who is just going to help you keep on the straight and narrow. So when you tell someone, then you have the ability then to make it far more real for yourself and make you achieve what you need to set out to achieve. So think about it right now. What do you want to achieve? And who can you tell to support you and make you accountable? That's something that you can look at. Right now, you can stop the presentation if you want, and you can write that down. What do I want to achieve, and who can I have to help me make more accountability? Right then, I'm a business coach, okay? I keep saying it. I almost feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over again. But I'm talking out of experience, and so that's all I can do. I can only talk out about what I know. I can't talk about what I don't know. So I couldn't sit here now and talk about physics, because the last time I knew anything about physics was, gosh, 1996, and GCSE physics. So I know nothing pretty much about physics and any special field in physics. So I can't talk about that. I can only talk out of experience. But within my industry, especially the fact that now we have the wonderful World Wide Web, the internet, everybody wants to overload you with information. So, classic example here of what I mean. Now, a friend of mine had something on their arm, and they decided that in order to find out what it was, they weren't going to go and seek a professional's advice. They were going to Google it. Now, Google is a wonderful thing, and I can now do homework with my two boys without even leaving home. We can literally get the internet switched on via iPads, tablets, laptops, phones, and we can look for whatever it is we need to do. But the downside of that is that everything has accessibility. Now, this person wanted to know what this mark was on their arm, so they decided to Google it. Such a bad idea. Now, my background when I was in my late teens, early 20s was in healthcare. I worked within NHS, within GP practice, and the one thing that I always say to people is never ever Google a symptom that you have, because you can get everything from everything's fine, don't worry about it, take 2 paracetamol, you'll be fine, to you have cancer, you're dying, you have 2 weeks to live. The internet can never be accurate when it comes to medical diagnosis. But in the same way, my industry just constantly wants to get you to enroll on courses, wants to get you to study and learn and pay lots of money to be able to have the privilege of people's knowledge. And yes, I encourage you to learn and to get better knowledge, but there comes a point where you become a fat cat of knowledge. You become so full of knowledge that you don't know what you're doing, and you become insane. Your brain is so full of information that you can't think straight. The one thing that I am a massive advocate of is learning with action. If you don't implement what you learn, then it's just knowledge, and knowledge is not powerful without the implementation of it. So unless you tell somebody, unless you make some use of that information, what use is it? It's just facts, figures, it's just words on a page, it's just speech coming out of a presentation. So be really careful that you don't constantly overload yourself. And be careful who you learn from. Learn from people who have experience. Learn from people who have gone before you and done it and got the t-shirt. And the other thing I would say about learning is you don't need to learn from the people who are making millions of pounds. And you don't actually need to learn from the people who are making 6-figure incomes. They're not always the right people to learn from. You see, within my industry, there are always people who want to teach you what they know. But they want to charge you a 4-figure income price tag. That's what they want to charge you. So you may have a mastermind group that's charging £2,000, when in all reality what you need is a webinar that's 19 quid and is going to get you the next step along the way. Don't reach too far ahead in your journey. And I found that some of my best mentors have been people who are just one step ahead of me. And one of my best, most trusted mentors that I've had was an entrepreneur who literally, they were younger than me, but they had achieved so many great things at a young age, but They had the stresses that I had. They had the stresses of being an employer. They had the stresses of making sure the cash was flowing and not just profit coming into the business, but not having any money left at the end of every month. They had all of those problems. They were looking to grow their business just like I was. So they were in the best place possible to relate to the problems that I was having. When somebody's got a six-figure income and they don't know what it's like. They can't remember what it's like to not be able to afford £99 to follow a course. They don't know what it's like to wish you could have £500 to pay out for 7 weeks of learning, but you just don't. They've forgotten all of that. For them, £2,000 is nothing. So, line yourself up with the people who can reach you the best. It's not about how much money they turn over. It's about what they've gained in their journey. It's about what their skills are. And that's the most important thing. So, yes, learn, but don't learn so much that you forget to even put it into practice. So moving on from that, we're going to look at finding a mentor. Now, business insanity is a horrible thing, and I felt it time and time again within business. You have great ideas, and then you try and put them into action, and they don't quite work, and you don't know what you're doing, and you feel a little bit like you're all on your own, and all of a sudden you think, this is never going to work, I can't make this happen, I just may as well give up because I'm rubbish at it. And you know what? It's not that you're rubbish at it. You're not rubbish at it at all. It's just that it needs tweaking. And sometimes having a mentor is the best way to tweak. Now, mentors don't have to be expensive. They don't have to be domineering. They don't have to be telling you that you're doing something wrong. They don't have to constantly, be there at your side. A mentor can be somebody as simple as somebody who is in a similar field to you or is achieving what you want to achieve, and all you do is learn from them. So as much as obviously I'm an advocate of coaching and mentoring because that's what I do and I know that it works. I've had clients who have come to me. One of my clients was sleeping on the floor of their workshop, and after a conversation that we had, we met up, we had a coaching session, we had a nice coffee, we had put a plan and a structure in place, and we pulled out important things, and that person went away and got 6 months worth of work, a huge contract, and was then looking to start employing people. Within 3 months of talking to me and having coaching, they went from sleeping on their floor of their workshop to gaining 6 months work ahead of work and looking to employ people. What a turnaround. Did I do anything special? Well, I didn't wave any magic wand, if that's what you think. I actually just said, okay, look, this is who you are. This is what you do. This is how you should market yourself. This is how you should do it. They went away and put it into action, which is the very important part. They implemented what they were told, and as a direct result of that, got the results. Now, that's coaching and mentoring. But it doesn't have to be as formal as that. It could be just watching somebody. I love Richard Branson, and it's probably a real cliche, but I love Richard Branson because I think he's always he takes risks, but he knows what he's doing, and he can be outrageous sometimes, and he's not afraid to say what he's thinking, and he's really not the sort of, the government advisory type person. He's not the full of himself entrepreneur. He's actually a real down-to-earth guy. Now, I could never afford, even if Richard Branson did mentoring, and I don't even know if he does, never looked into it. But I follow him on Twitter, I follow him on LinkedIn, I follow what he does in the media, and I learn from him. And that's another way of doing mentoring. When you have someone who can work on your goals, it can make all the difference. It really can. It can make such a difference to you and your business if you have somebody who can help you work on your goals, whether formally or informally. So you really need to consider mentoring as in finding somebody who's doing what you want to do and looking at how they do it and how you can learn from it. And of course, if you want to take on formal coaching, then that's something too. Okay, now, structuring your work can have a fundamental pattern shift for you and your business, okay? Now, just because you work from home, possibly, whether you work from home or an office, and you schedule your own work, now, doesn't mean that you just get up every day and think, oh, what shall I do today? That is one of the biggest and fastest ways to gain insanity in business, okay? Now, everybody has a calendar, whether it's a physical calendar or one on your technology, on your tablet, on your iPad or whatever. In your calendar, set some time in the day. So how many hours a day are you working? How many hours a day, how many days a week, sorry, do you have to work? And in those hours, what are you going to do? Structure your work on a calendar. So look at next week. There's no point looking at this week. Look at next week. Look at next week and a list of the things that you have to get done, the things that you need to achieve and the things that you want to achieve. So if you need to make stuff, if you need to produce new content, if you need to update social media, schedule it all into your calendar. So come Monday morning, you know, right, okay, Monday morning, 9 till 10, I'm updating my social media for the week. And then 10 till 11, I'm making some chocolates. Say you were a chocolatier. I'm making chocolate from 10 till 11. And 11 till 12, I'm meeting a potential client who's interested in chocolates for their wedding. And then after that, I'm going to have some lunch. And then I have to be at the school for 3 o'clock. So I've got an hour and a half. So I'm going to write a couple of blog posts that are ready to go out on my website. See, scheduling your work and knowing what's coming ahead and where you're going and what you're doing will increase your productivity. Increasing your productivity brings results, and bringing results gets rid of insanity. You see, that is the quickest way to seeing results in your business and reviewing what you do. So scheduling your work and then looking over what you've done and whether it worked or not. And we're going to look at, during this presentation, we're going to look at even more things that are going to help you. And we're going to look at the time of day you work and how you work. But more importantly, right now, structure your work. So write down your tasks onto a calendar and get them like as if you were in a job. You know, what do I need to do before 5 o'clock? And how am I going to do it? On a calendar, so that every day you have tasks to do, not just oh, let's pick a task out of fresh air and hope that I get it done. All right. Biggest tip for you, biggest tip ever about doing tasks is do the worst tasks first. Now, one of my wonderful mentors, he said to me once, if I put out a buffet in front of you and there were chocolate cakes, there were crisps, there were pasties, which is, for those who don't know, pasties are like a pastry with a meat filling, and then all of those things were in front of you, so typical foods that you would eat at a party. But then there was a bowl full of cockroaches, crispy salted cockroaches. What are you going to eat first? And you automatically go, well, I'll eat all the nice things first. You know, it's like having dinner as a child and you always ate the nice things first and left the worst things to last. Don't do the worst things first. So eat the cockroaches first and then you have all that lovely food left to do. So every day, get the tasks done that are the worst ones. Because there is nothing worse in business than having all of the tasks in front of you, doing all the lovely things, and still having the worst task left. Because do you know what happens? You end up just putting off the worst task, and you put it off till tomorrow, and you put it off till tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and you know the famous saying, tomorrow never comes. So make sure that you do the worst task first, and then you have the other tasks that are not so bad to be done. Simple. Right, so we're talking about tasks and when you work. When you work, think about when do you work best. Now, I am absolutely rubbish in the mornings, okay? I hate working in the mornings. Networking in the mornings is not so bad for me because I'm quite a sociable person, so I enjoy the company of others. So I don't mind networking in the morning, but actually sitting down at a desk at 8:30 in the morning, doing tasks, oh my gosh, I can't think of anything worse. But 9, 10 o'clock at night, my brain's alive, I'm alive, and I like to work then. Now, as long as it works around the other things that you have, like family commitments, social commitments, then you can work whenever you want. Because remember what I said before, you don't work for your business works for you. So whether it's morning or night, it doesn't matter as long as you get it done. Simple things such as social media updates, sending out newsletters can all be scheduled, whichever one you prefer. They can be done and then given a time restriction. So you can write your newsletters at 1 o'clock in the morning if you so wish, and then have them sent out 6:45 in the morning. You know, they don't have to be done there and then. Same with emails. If you don't want to send emails at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can actually use technology to schedule them so they don't actually end up in somebody's inbox until 9 a.m. But think about when do you work best, and then working at those times rather than trying to make your 9 to 5 work for you. You are a self-employed business owner. You can work whenever you want to work because you are in charge of your business. So stop running it like a 9 to 5 business where you are employed as a member of a company, and start thinking about it as yours and you controlling it when you want to do when you want to work and when you want to do the things you need to do. So if you want to stop going insane, one of the things that I would suggest you do is look after yourself. You know, without you, there is no business. You are a fundamental part of your business, and lots of my social media is about that, and is about making sure that you eat the right foods, you sleep enough hours. You know, if you're one of the lucky people who doesn't have the school run to do every day, and say this is, I might be talking to just 1/3 of the people listening right now, you might be in a position where you like to work late at night, you don't have children, so you don't have to do the school run, or your children are grown up. And all of that can result in you working late, not getting up early, no school run to do, so therefore you can stay in bed. Now, who says you have to get up at 7 in the morning? Who says you have to get up at 9 in the morning? Who says that on weekends you can't stay in bed until midday? Guess what? This is your life, and you have to decide what works for you. So think about, if you're working late, do you want to get up a little bit later? You know, you're in charge. So look after yourself. Make sure you get the amount of sleep that you need. Now, your body is extremely clever. It'll tell you what it wants to eat. It'll tell you what it wants to drink. It'll tell you what you need at any given point in your day. Now, my body is, obviously, it tells me when, my muscles are not working so well, and tells me when I need to take a break. All of these things are very, very clever, and it's what a created being is all about. Now, the one thing that I would say to you is, your body will tell you when it's tired, and it'll tell you when it's ready to go again. And alarm clocks are not the best thing on the planet. Now, they're a necessity for many of us because we have children who need to get to school on time, otherwise the teachers are not going to be too amused. And so we have to get up outside of our natural time and out of our natural body clock. But your body will know how many hours it needs to sleep. And when you get the chance, give it a try. Get your body, don't set any alarms, go to sleep when you're tired and wake up naturally when your body tells you to wake up. And see how many hours you actually really, in honesty, need. Some people only need 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours sleep. I need like 8, 9, and possibly sometimes 10 hours. So sleep well, eat well, and those two things alone will help you in business. You know, if I've done it, okay, I've been sick. I still have this disability, and I have days where if I work too hard, the following day I will suffer big style. And you know, without you, your business won't move forward. Your business won't be able to do what you want it to do. If I am unwell, I can't stand up in front of a room full of people and tell them how to run a business and to show them how to stop going insane in their business, because I have to be in bed, high on codeine, making a misery of myself because I've worked too hard. So look after you. Look after number one. I love that little picture. Okay, avoid multitasking. Do you know, women are supposedly amazing at multitasking. Just because we're supposedly amazing at multitasking doesn't mean we've got it right. You are better off focusing on one thing at a time and doing that well than you are on multitasking. Okay? Now, if your attention is on one thing for 10 minutes, how much more productive are you than if you are focusing on 10 tasks at one time for 10 minutes? Doesn't work. Okay, you can sit down and focus on all different types of things. You can go from writing the content for a webinar to updating your social media to answering the telephone to cooking lunch, and all of those things. You're back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and your mind, it can begin to forget things. It can begin to not do things as productively. You know, being productive is what we're talking about. And when you are multitasking, the other thing you can do is forget what you're doing. And when you forget, you can start to feel like you're going insane because you forget to do things and then you feel bad. The guilt trip sort of kicks in, and before you know it, you're thinking you're rubbish, you're no good, and your business may as well not bother existing because you can't do a very good job. So stop multitasking and start focusing on single tasks. How regularly are you communicating with your clients? And what are you saying to them? Now, there is a difference between clients and potential clients, but the one key thing about all of these is that you consistently send out a message. The message being something that they will attract attention to, something that they will grab onto, that will make them listen to what you have to say. There is something to be said about making sure that you're at the top of people's minds when they need what you do. And that comes through consistency. So, if you want to become more productive and less like feeling like you're throwing stuff out there and hoping you hit your target, this is the way to do it. Structuring your social media, structuring your newsletters, knowing what you are saying to people on your website, having the messages that communicates with the ideal person you want to work with, that you want to sell to. Getting the message across so that they can go, yep, that's me, and I love what you do. There's nothing better than having fans of what you do, fans of the products that you sell and the services that you offer. Oh, she's a brilliant bookkeeper. Oh my gosh, have you seen her chocolate bars? They're amazing. You know, there is nothing more satisfying than having fans. But you need to communicate regularly. Consistency in your marketing, which literally just means the message of what you're saying needs to be consistent and it needs to be done on a regular basis. So something to consider. I can't say this one often enough. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Follow up is vital, and you need to schedule it into your work tasks using your calendar to follow up with people. Now, when people contact you, what do you do? Okay, think about it. purposefully put a pause in there. I come to you and I say, I would like 600 chocolate bars for my wedding. Could you give me a price, please? Right, that email has come through into your inbox. What do you then do? Well, probably, if you're a smart business person, you'll have sent out a quote for that. But then what? Where did the bride go? Did you expect her to come back to you? Or did you do something to keep the dialogue open between you? Okay, now we've just talked about communicating with clients, communicating with potential clients. Follow up is another thing that is a vital part of that. Networking. Hands up, and obviously I can't see, but we'll pretend. Hands up if you go networking regularly, or if you've been networking, if you go out to events relating to your business. And how many times, hang your head in shame, how very dare you, have you not followed up with the people you've spoken to? You've taken their business cards, but you've not bothered to follow up. How mad are you? They've taken an interest in what you do, and you haven't followed up with them. You have to have a system in place, even if it's a pen and paper system where this person's contacted me, this is what they wanted, or I met this person and this is what they seemed keen on. What do you do next? Have a plan of action to follow up with people, keep the conversation going. If they seem interested in what you do, have you got them on your mailing list? Or have you even got a mailing list? Follow up is what brings potential sales into your business. These are leads, and leads is what you need. Leads that are nurtured well result in sales, and sales are what keep your business going. So think about it. Think about it really carefully and schedule time for follow up. Then you'll stop feeling like you're going insane because you feel like you're running around trying to find leads and sales all the time. They're there. You have them. There are people communicating with you on social media. There are people talking to you at events. All of these people are interested in what you do. Keep in touch. Oh, right. My industry is so focused on targets and goals. And targets and goals are essential. If you don't have targets and goals, you'll soon go insane because you don't know what you're aiming for. It's like throwing a pile of stuff out into the wind and hoping something will come back and hit you in the face. Targets are important. Goals are important because you didn't go into business for nothing. You went into business for a reason. And mine was to give my family a better life. Mine was to be able to be an active part of society. Mine was to feel like I was worth something and counted. Now, if I don't have goals on how I'm going to do that, how I'm going to achieve that, I'm just doing stuff. But achieve your goals by setting small targets first. Okay? Now, I want to be a millionaire. No, genuinely, I would love to be a millionaire. Don't we all? Everybody screams. But that's what I want to be. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be able to fund people's business startups. I want to be able to donate money to things going on in third world countries and to charities here in the UK that need my help and support. I want to become a social entrepreneur and contribute hugely to my society. But I have to start somewhere. And if I'm focusing on becoming a millionaire, I'm soon going to go insane because I'm going to become disgruntled because, 7 figures is a big task. 6 figures is a big task. 5 figures is a task. 4 figures is beginning to become more manageable. 3 figures, and we're now starting to become, okay, I know how to make this happen. You see, we are taught to dream and to set goals within the business world. But do you know what the problem is? We set ones that are so hard to achieve that then our brains start just overloading and we get to the point where we feel insane, like it isn't working. And again, the number one thing we do, we give up. So make your goals there and achievable. Have big goals, have big dreams, but don't concentrate on all of those. Concentrate on the smaller ones. And if the smaller ones get you towards achieving the bigger goals, then you're on the right path. But don't go setting ridiculous goals and then have no way of achieving them. Success happens by step by step by step. Piece of the puzzle added to piece of the puzzle. That's how you do it. So don't drive yourself insane by achieving goals that as of tomorrow you know you can't achieve yet. Break it down. Make it manageable. Oh, the joy of the self-employed business owner who works from home. Now, this isn't just works from home. This can be somebody who has an office, somebody who goes out to work. But distraction. Oh my gosh. The telephone rings. The washing needs doing. The kids need food for tea. And so you're going to have to create some masterpiece before they get home from school. The neighbour is popping around for a coffee. Your mum is passing and she calls in. Social media, email. The list goes on and on and on. There are so many distractions in business. And the easiest way to eliminate distractions is by having a structure in place, okay? Make your day run smoother. How many times a day do you check your social media? How many times a day do you check your emails? What if I told you I only check my emails twice a day? Once in the morning and once about an hour before I finish work for the day. See, I used to be the guilty one who would check my emails every hour of the day. Do you know the biggest problem with emails is that they've replaced the phone. And the biggest problem we have is that people email us and expect an instant response, because now we're expected to have our emails come through to our phones, come through to our tablets, to be constantly accessible. But why, if something is urgent, would the person not pick up the phone and ring? If I need something from somebody right now, this very moment, I have to have the answer. Otherwise, I'm going to, I'm going to lose a sale, or I'm going to, something awful is going to happen. I would pick up the phone. So if somebody's emailing you, it's not that urgent. And if they then accuse you of not responding to them quick enough, then you can put in place for the future and say, look, put it as an autoresponder. I check my emails twice a day. If you need to get hold of me urgently, please contact me via telephone. Here's the number. Put things in place that make you accessible if it's urgent. But if it's not urgent, why are you checking it every hour of the day? Social media updates. Now, the only thing that's extremely urgent for you from social media is an opportunity. But an opportunity can be responded to within 12 hours. I mean, let's be realistic. You're only going to be spending 8 hours maximum 8 hours between not responding. You can respond to opportunity and not miss it within those 8 hours, I guarantee you. But you don't need to be checking it every hour of the day. It is eating at your time. And then you get to the end of your working day and you say, oh, where did the time go? I didn't achieve everything that I wanted to achieve. I wonder why. Because you're distracted. If you're working from home and people are calling to the house and wanting to have a coffee and all things like that, make it really known that you work and you work from home and that time is spent working. If you have washing piling up, chuck the washing on before you start. Or put is another word. Chuck may not be a word that you would normally understand. So put the washing in the washing machine, switch it on before you start work. Don't do it in the middle of the day. Don't feel guilty about things not necessarily being done at home if you work from home during your work time. It's your work time. If you were working for an employer and you were in an office, you wouldn't have the opportunity to cook the beef or to switch the washing machine on. You would be doing your work, and treat your work at home in exactly the same way. I love working from home because I'm around all of the things that I really, sort of enjoy. I like being comfortable sitting on my sofa sometimes working, and I like being able to have access to snacks when I want them, rather than being in work and having an empty cupboard in work, but I like my office as well, because I like being able to keep all my important documents and everything in a specific place and not have it clutter up my house. So there's two real opposites there, and pros and cons for everything, but distractions can be dealt with, and you are the one who can do that. Power tasking. I've decided I'm going to trademark power tasking. So on the 15th of November 2013, as I am recording this, I am the first person to mention and to trademark power tasking. There, I've done it. Power tasking is like power napping, basically. To stop yourself going insane and feeling like things are never getting done and you have endless tasks to do, just power task. Set yourself a set time in your working day, an amount of time, and get a task done. So break it down. Now, one of the lovely ladies that I have had mentoring and coaching from talks about the 10-minute schedule. So you task things out for 10 minutes. So you update social media for 10 minutes. You do a little bit of marketing for 10 minutes at a time. Power tasking. So power tasking is extremely important to stop you going insane. You can have little snippets of work that get done. Tick them off your list. Little things that you feel like you're making strides ahead in your business. Power tasking. Don't really need to say much more on power tasking, really. It's doing short, sharp bursts of tasks that allow you to move your business forward. Carry a notebook everywhere. Oh, how many times have you had an amazing idea or a great little thought of a marketing technique or something you could do for clients, and then forgotten all about it because the rest of the day has happened? I've done it so many times. Hence the reason why for the last 3 or 4 years I've carried a notebook with me wherever I go, because it's amazing how you will have the strangest thought in the strangest place. And it's happened to me loads of times. I could be having lunch with my husband and we'll come up with an amazing title for something. It could be anything. But the other thing that I do is that if I'm going somewhere where I can't carry a notebook, I have my phone on me, which has a little notepad type thing where I can type notes. And just even if it's pop to the loo and just type a note when you've been in conversation with someone or you've experienced something. You could be out on a day somewhere with a family and, at a sort of theme park, and something's just thought, I love the way they do that. How can I apply that to my business? You put it in your notebook, and when you get downtime to consider your notes, schedule it in your diary for looking over your notes that you've made and how you schedule your work. Put it in that scheduling of work, but you'll never forget anything again, ever, ever, ever. So you won't feel like you're going insane. And make sure that the notes that you make are detailed enough that you'll know what you're on about when you look back, because there's nothing worse than 2 words and you have no idea what you actually meant. Make it enough to jog your memory, but don't make it long enough that you literally could write an academic paper on it. So it doesn't have to be too detailed, and it could be bullet points, it could be a picture, whatever works for you. I like bullet points, I like arrows, that type of thing. I like thoughts in that type of way, but as detailed as you need it to be. Okay. To-do lists. I'm not a fan of to-do lists, in that to-do lists become I didn't get them done lists, become this is ridiculous now, it's becoming 50 things that I need to get done before the end of the week lists. That's not what you want. You want to-do lists that are short and sharp. And the coach that tells me that I've been sort of learning from about the 10-minute task has also mentions having a short list of tasks, and I really subscribe to that. Have a short list of tasks that can allow you to just have 3 things that when you get chance you can get them done. Write your list, and then when you get chance, do them, tick them off. Now, this is something that I've learned that is so clever to stop the brain from becoming insane. Write your task list for tomorrow right now at the end of the working day. Don't wait till tomorrow morning to write a task list. Do it at the end of the working day because you know what you need to get done. Now, the other thing that I also do is sometimes I write my task list during the day. So it could be, okay, tomorrow's important task is X, Y, and Z. But next week I really need to get done and then something else. So it goes into my notes and it goes into my work schedule of, okay, do you know what? By next Wednesday I have to have written a 3,000 word paper for university. So that I'm talking about my academic studies. Now, then it's a case of, okay, so I need to, by next Tuesday, I need to have a real good draft of it and need to have it ready so that I can check it for plagiarism and then upload it to the university site ready for submission. I need to do it a day ahead of the schedule. Working ahead always is really good because you never know what may happen to stop you meeting a deadline. So that is one. So one of my short things to do is to check for plagiarism in my assignment. So that goes into my schedule that on Tuesday morning I'm going to check for plagiarism on my assignment. Tuesday afternoon I'm going to upload it. You see, there are little short, sharp things that need doing in order to achieve a task. Make those your short to-do list things, and they're vital things. They're things that you can't just let rumble on. So that's how you use a to-do list, not a 50-point to-do list that gets you just overwhelmed and creates insanity in your brain. Scheduling your social media will be one of the most beneficial things to you, because just because you stay in touch with people who are maybe interested in what you do doesn't mean that you have to sit at your computer. Social media scheduling can be done through a number of different apps. One of my favorites is Hootsuite, because Hootsuite currently allows you to put on there Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter, and you can literally send out all of your social media at scheduled times. You can do that by putting in the content and then hitting the calendar button and putting in what time or what day you want to do it. Now, remember what I said about sometimes you have time where you're sitting there doing nothing. You're waiting for a phone call, you're waiting for a parcel to arrive, you're waiting for your child to come out of school, whatever it is. If you're not wanting to learn during that time, you could be updating your social media, because you can access it on your iPad, your tablet, your laptop, wherever you've got internet connection, you could be doing it. So even if it's just, you need to get out of the house and you want to go and have a coffee somewhere, you could be updating your social media and saving yourself so much time. And your consistency, then you hit that consistency tick, that tick in your business of being consistent with your messaging. You've done it because you've set up consistency with your social media. And finally, this one is absolutely brilliant if you have a family or a busy work schedule and a busy social life. Plan your eating activities. Structure around meal times, meaning structuring your meal time, what you're going to cook, what you're going to eat, what ingredients you need, where you're going to buy them from, can really help take out the headache of meal times in home life. Now, you could be the busiest person on the planet and not have a family, and just be that you have a busy social life, you're a busy business person, and you need structure around your meal times, because they can be, if you get to the fridge and there's nothing in there, what the heck are you going to eat? And remember what I said, you have to look after yourself. So structuring meals within the week, and then my godsend, which is online food shopping and having it delivered. Oh my gosh, if you don't have that where you are, then you really need to lobby your supermarkets to create that, because it is the best thing they ever invented. Once you've done it a couple of times, you'll have a list of all of the foods you regularly buy. And let's be honest, most of us are creatures of habit. We eat the same things, we need the same food on a shopping list, and you literally can tick them, add them to basket, pay for it, and schedule when you want it delivered. And then your delivery driver turns up at the house with all your shopping, and all you have to do is unpack it and put it by. You save all of that time and all of that stress of what you're going to eat at meal times. You know, that meal times can be some of the most stressful times in your life, because you get to meal times and think, what am I going to eat? And you haven't worked out what you want, and you haven't worked out what you're going to have, and you just then end up with whatever's there. And it literally could be like it is in our house, Baby Bell cheese. There's normally always Baby Bell cheese in my fridge, which is a little round cheese in a plastic waxy wrapper. And they're normally for the children's lunch boxes, but you know, they have them for their lunches in school when I send them with a packed lunch. But they're always left in our fridge. So if I haven't done the online shop, if I haven't done the food shop, it's Baby Bell for lunch, you know, and that can be really annoying and frustrating. So plan your eating activities. Will take one of the biggest insane moments out of your day-to-day life, which then affects your business. So that is your 25 ways to stop feeling insane in your business, to stop the business insanity. All of this stuff is absolutely brilliant. Learning and thinking is nothing without doing. So I've given you this webinar. For as long as this webinar is available and the technology is here for you, you can refer back to it. You can just dip in and out of it. But do me one thing right now, and make sure that you implement what I've said. Pick out the stuff that you need, implement it, just do it. Thank you so much for listening to this over an hour's presentation on how to stop insanity within your business. I really hope it's been beneficial. I know that all of these things are things that I've learnt over the years the hard way, and now implement and save myself so much stress that I can now work 3 days a week and no more, because I'm productive within my business. I would love to hear about any major problems that you have within sort of the area of productivity, and if there's anything that really makes you feel insane right now that I can help with. So head on over to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/New Perspective Biz, B-I-Z, and let me know about what it is that is getting on your nerves, what's causing you to feel overwhelmed, getting that brain out of sync, and stopping you from being productive. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and hopefully I'll be with you on another presentation soon. Bye for now.